Okay, peace, peace. Thank you for joining me. I'm not going to be on loud. I'm not going to be on long tonight. I just wanted to kind of do my part three, some information that I wanted to bring out on Saturday, but I didn't get a chance to bring it out. Um, this would be part three of the Israelites, the Boule Israelites. And a lot of people sit there and say, "Hey, why you why you picking on the Israelites if you supposed to be an Israelite?" But see, the point is, it's not the point of rather what I'm supposed to be. The point is, are we ready to acknowledge where most of this stuff comes from? Are we ready to acknowledge that? See, this is how you know who's ready to move forward and who ain't. And a lot of people, they don't like the controversy, saying you got too much controversy. You got too much controversy going on. Well, so be it if that's what you call it. It doesn't matter to me no more. Rather, if you look at it as being controversial, or whatever you want to call it. It don't matter. But one thing you're not going to do is get around the truth. That's what we're not going to do. Okay? Because see, a lot of us, we want to get around the truth. And when you can't get around the truth, then you have to meet truth head on. And this is one thing that a lot of us are not ready to do, is to meet truth head on. And this is one of the issues that a lot of us have, meeting truth head on. And then the first thing we say is, well, I have truth. I follow truth. I'm dealing with truth. Well, if I listen to a lesson and this lesson doesn't convict me, then the lesson is not putting you into the position of truth. Okay? Just to be honest with you. That's why it doesn't bother me who all listens and who don't. It doesn't bother me. None of that doesn't bother me. You know, what bothers me is when I know that I speak truth and I choose not to push or promote what I know. That's when it bothers me. Because there's a lot of people that will hate you even if you were telling lies. So this walk is what did the Creator tell Jeremiah? Don't look at their face. Yeah, don't look at their face. Because their face gonna tell you that they hate you anyhow. Their face is adamant to the truth. And that's what a lot of us is adamant towards, is this truth. That's why we in part 3 right now. Because a lot of us, we choose to want to listen to something that really doesn't satisfy, that really doesn't really teach us the real wherewithal or the know-how on how things really are. A lot of us have that itching ear. We surround ourselves with many teachers just for them to be able to tell us what we want to hear. See? And that's why you see all these people out on these streets. And they telling everybody that look like them that they're Israel. That's farther from the truth, family. That's farther from the truth. But you know what, though? The world? This thing is doing. Okay. That is farther from the truth. And many of us, we would continue to follow and teach what we know, what these folks are telling us is a lie. And then when somebody tries to correct you, you don't even want to hear the correction. So I done had many people since I've been doing this lesson break friendship and break ties from me. So be it. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, I advise you to go and see part 1 and part 2. We're going to get into part 3 tonight. Because you've been hearing a lot of these folks been telling you a whole bunch of lies. I mean, just lies. And you done seen, we done exposed the hand signs. We done exposed the symbols. We done exposed the colors. We done exposed a lot of this stuff, what these folks been doing. So we're gonna get into, without no further ado, we're gonna go ahead on and get further on into part 3. This is just some of the material I wanted to bring out on Saturday, but Saturday, you know, it was a little lengthy. But hey, all praises. The Creator kept us thus far, and we're here. Yeah. And now we're going to go and do part 3. So without no further ado, we're going to go ahead on and get into it. So let's go ahead on. Because we're going to go ahead on. Shalom, shalom, sis. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We're going to go ahead on and move forward. So let me present my screen. Everything I do tonight is fair use. A lot of people don't even realize when you join these groups, these people tries to, well, not tries to, they literally control you. They literally controls you. I'm waiting for the share the screen to come on. Here we go. They literally, and most times they are successful at controlling you. They are successful as and understand the purpose of you
It's everything you wished for. Your site traffic is
Subscribe to this brother's channel. You know, there's certain things about this brother, some things that he is saying, and some of his videos I don't agree with, but some of his videos I do agree with, and I'm just here to tell you the truth, and the truth be spoken. That's his channel. So subscribe to this page, and I know you. And if you don't, then hey, leave the brother a comment. But this brother did this video right here. This brother did drop some heat. So fair use, fair use. Let's get in. Let's go on and get into it. Let's go.
As a teenager, Elijah became increasingly curious about his African heritage. The stories of his ancestors intrigued him.
Now we're gonna kind of dodge the hijack about that African ancestry. We're gonna dodge the hijack. This is this brother's video. I'm not here to critique his video, but there's certain things I'm going to critique because it's just way out there, and I don't get down with that. When that's that African ancestry. But we're gonna go ahead on and get on into it. Let's go.
Yearned to learn more about their history and how it shaped his own identity. He was also deeply affected by the injustices and inequalities he saw within his community, and he struggled to reconcile the teachings of his faith.
Now, I just want to say that flag, that Confederate flag that y'all say that is a racist flag, that's the Chickamauga flag. That's the South flag. That's the Negro flag, and all they did was just took it and engulfed it as themselves to make you hate what really belongs to your ancestors. So that Chickamauga flag, let me go backwards. That Chickamauga flag, I'm gonna kind of put it out here. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let's go back. Let's go.
And how it shaped his own identity. He was also deeply affected by the injustices.
So this flag here, this is the Chickamauga flag, but they say that this is the Confederate flag. And yes, it is the Confederate flag because the Negro was the Confederates. The Negroes was in the South, but that lesson is not for tonight. We're going to get into this flag in another lesson, all right? So let's go because the white man didn't have that flag. That's a Negro flag, but let's go.
And inequalities he saw within his community, and he struggled to reconcile the teachings of his faith with the world around him. One day, while walking home from school, Elijah came across a group of men dressed in colorful robes and head wraps, passionately preaching on a street corner. They spoke about the true descendants of the biblical Israelites and how African Americans, like him, were part of a lost tribe. As they shared their message, Elijah felt a surge of excitement and curiosity. Could this be the answer to the questions that had plagued him for so long? Elijah began attending the gatherings of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. Their teachings offered him a newfound sense of purpose and belonging. He felt empowered by the idea that his people were chosen by God, and he eagerly absorbed their teachings. As he became more involved with the group, he started to adopt their beliefs, dress, and mannerisms. Elijah's family noticed the changes in him and became concerned.
Now, remember the sister over in Britain, I showed the video on last week, on last Shabbat. The sister said that she noticed the sister had got killed over there by the IUIC group. And the sister, I think her aunt, said that she noticed a change from the family. And so now here's another video. I'm just pinpointing certain things out. Let's go. Listen to what he said with this brother, because he's just throwing up a story about this young man who's trying to find his way in life, and he stumbled happily to come across this group. Okay, and let's listen to the story.
That his people were chosen by God, and he eagerly absorbed their teachings. As he became more involved with the group, he started to adopt their beliefs, dress, and mannerisms. Elijah's family noticed the changes in him and became concerned.
So he said that Elijah's family noticed the change in him because of the ways and the things that he adopted. If something is true, that means it's natural. And the only change is going to bring in your life is the change of the things that you not need to do no more, that goes against literally your culture, that goes against your household, your family. But when you have something that's unnatural, okay, it pulls you away from those very same things that I just named, and plus even more things. We're gonna get into that. Let's go.
They worried about the radical ideas he was embracing and how they might affect his future. But Elijah, captivated by the movement, dismissed their concerns. He believed he had found the truth he had been searching for and was unwilling to consider any alternative perspectives. Elijah's psychological profile reveals a young man with a deep desire for a sense of identity and belonging. His curiosity about his heritage and the injustices he witnessed around him fueled his search for answers. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement provided him with a strong sense of community and empowerment, which helped him cope with feelings of vulnerability and marginalization. As Elijah continued to immerse himself in the movement, he became increasingly closed off to other viewpoints. His cognitive biases and motivated reasoning led him to defend the group's teachings, even
So notice it says he became closed off with other people. What do you mean by closed off? He didn't accept any other ideas. He was now inside of a box. And now he's defending not Torah, he's defending a narrative. That's the difference. That's the difference. I want you to pay attention to that. That is the difference. Let's say that one more time.
which helped him cope with feelings of vulnerability and marginalization. As Elijah continued to immerse himself in the movement, he became increasingly closed off to other viewpoints. His cognitive biases and motivated reasoning led him to defend the group's teachings, even when faced with evidence that contradicted their claims. The strong emotional appeal of the movement, combined with the psychological need for belonging, made it difficult for Elijah to question or critique the beliefs he had adopted.
So he got stuck. And anytime when you get stuck in something, you're not really literally going to question it. Even if you see or hear something false, you might question it on the inside, but you're not going to question it to any, like you question anybody else that's not a part of that group, especially if it's leadership. You won't even question leadership because you feel a sense of belonging. You feel that you have done arrived. But you don't see the very change that these groups take on you, take inside of you. You don't even see the, you don't even notice that. Watch this. Let's go.
This story illustrates the journey of a young man searching for identity and purpose, ultimately finding solace in the teachings of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. It also serves as a reminder of the importance of empathy, understanding, and open-mindedness when engaging with individuals who hold different beliefs or are part of controversial groups. Prepare to separate fact from fiction, truth from myth, as we shine a light on the teachings of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. That's what comes up today on the Truth Be Told Project.
Now, just be careful with the word black. I don't get down with that word black. So it's just, there's no such thing as a black Hebrew. You just in Hebrew or you're not. All right, let's ride.
Twofold. We want to understand the movement's beliefs, and we also want to look at the psychological factors that contribute to this movement's appeal and its growth. No denying that this movement is fastly growing, and we're going to look into the psychological factors that contribute to that. When doing a study like this, it's always good to look at the psychological profiles of the followers and the leaders of these kinds of movements. Before we talk about this religion, organization, or movement, it's good to first know the origins of the religion or movement. The origins of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement can be traced back to the late 19th century in the United States, when various individuals and groups started to promote the idea that African Americans were the true descendants of the biblical Israelites. The movement has evolved over time, and today it is comprised of numerous factions, often referred to as camps. They have differing beliefs, practices, and organizational structures. Some key beliefs and practices that are common among Black Hebrew Israelites include observance of certain biblical laws, such as the Sabbath and dietary restrictions, the belief that African Americans are the true Israelites and that their suffering throughout history, particularly during the transatlantic slave trade, is a result of divine punishment for their disobedience to God. The expectation of a future redemption, which may involve the return of African Americans to their ancestral homeland in Israel, or the establishment of a new kingdom on earth. It is important to note that the beliefs and practices of the Black Hebrew Israelite groups can vary significantly, and not all adherents hold extreme or divisive views. Some groups may exhibit more aggressive rhetoric. You see them out there on the street corners just cussing people out or whatnot and insulting people. And not all groups that subscribe to some of the beliefs are like that. Others focus on spiritual development and fostering a sense of community among their members. This movement has been criticized for its exclusive controversial beliefs. Additionally, some camps within the movement have been associated with hate speech and anti-Semitic views. I want you to picture this. You live in a world where you often feel voiceless, misunderstood, and disconnected from your roots. Then suddenly you've been handed a narrative, a powerful story that ties you to ancient history, kings, prophets. It gives you identity, purpose, and a community that understands. This is the allure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement for me. That's really at play beneath the surface. Let's
Well, yes, and what he's saying is that the Israelites, these camps, give you the allure of having you thinking that you're connected to the divine, okay? And it gives you that sense of purpose. And don't get me wrong, yes, being an Israelite should give you a purpose. It should literally make you become aware. Not of that, oh, we're gonna rule the kingdom. But when you find out that you an Israelite and you realize what got us in this position, many of you say, oh, the white man got us in this position, or the Asian man, or the African man. No. Deuteronomy 31:15. Let's look at that real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31:15. Give me 1 second, because this is, because a lot of us, we want to blame everybody except put the blame where it squarely belongs. So Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter. Okay. And we're going to read verse 13, 14, and 15 and 16. Because this is what the Creator told Moses. And it says, and I'm going to start at verse 12. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy strangers that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear the Creator, your power, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn and fear the Creator, your power, as long as you live in his land, whether you go over the Jordan to possess it. And the Creator said unto Moses, behold, the days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. So the Creator is telling Moses to bring Joshua. Bring Joshua. Okay? So when he told him to bring Joshua, they went into the tabernacle of the congregation. That's where everybody were. Verse 15. And the Creator appeared in the tabernacle in the pillar of the cloud, and in the pillar of the cloud stood over the doors of the tabernacle. Verse 16. And the Creator said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land. You see what you see what the Creator telling Moses? And notice now Joshua standing right there listening, because remember, Joshua was standing right next to Moses when they went into the tent of the congregation. And this is what the Creator is telling Moses right now in front of Joshua. Israel will go a whoring after the other nations, okay, of the land. Whether they go to be among them and will forsake me. See, they're going to go and assimilate themselves with the other nations. They're not going to want to keep the commandments no more. They're not going to want to keep the judge. They're not going to want to be judged by the Creator no more. Whether they go among them and forsake me and break my covenant which I made with them. So see, we begin to blame everybody. So when you realize that you're an Israelite, this is what you should be remembering, what your forefathers done. And we should be, at every chance that we have, we should be asking the Creator, not just for your sins, but the sins of your forefathers to be forgiven. See, we got all the time in the world to listen, to do, to be involved in, but how many of us is actually praying for the forgiveness of our forefathers by the things that they put us in? Huh? Because we blame, we feel like, oh, I'm an Israelite. Yes, that should make you feel good, but it also should make you feel bad. Because our forefathers were stiff-necked, like many of us are today. Our forefathers were full of pride, like many of us are today. And a lot of us, we don't want to be taught. We don't want to be told nothing because we feel like we done got it, we done made it, and we are in there. So when you realize you're an Israelite, this is what you should be doing. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. Then we're going to get back to the video. This is what we should be doing. Leviticus 26:40. Let me go back. He says, if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they have trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary to me. See, he says, confess their iniquities and the iniquities of their fathers. Meaning we don't have it right. We don't have this thing. We don't have the luxury to sit there and criticize other people because it was our forefathers that put us in this position in the first place. So I just want to kind of get into that. Just want to kind of go over that to display that. That as an Israelite, we don't have the luxury to sit there and be criticizing any other nation. I don't care what the Bible says, that the other nations are considered nothing. But the other nations are in the position where they're supposed to be. But I just read the scripture in Deuteronomy 31, 15, and 16. You moved away from the position you're supposed to be. Nobody came running for you to say, teach me about you. But you ran to them saying, I want to be a part of you. I want to be with you. I want to dwell amongst you. Let's go back. Let's hit it. Let's go.
Misunderstood and disconnected from your roots. Then suddenly you've been handed a narrative, a powerful story that ties you to ancient history, kings, prophets. It gives you identity, purpose, and a community that understands. This is the allure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement for me. That's really at play beneath the surface. Let's dive into the.
And notice he said, you've been given a story. Let's hear that one more time.
This is the allure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement for me. That's anti-Semitic views. I want you to picture this. You live in a world where you often feel voiceless. At play beneath the surface. Let's dive into the. This is the allure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement for me. That's really at play beneath the surface. Story that ties you to ancient history, kings, prophets. It gives you identity, purpose, and a community that understands. This is the allure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement for me. That's really at play beneath the surface factors that make this movement so captivating to its followers.
The feel of strong identity.
All of the members of movements like the Black Hebrew Israelites are minorities. They have a basic human need of identity and belonging. Our knowledge of African history is limited to American slavery most of the time, unless you really do your research. That may be perhaps one of the reasons why they find it unappealing to acknowledge their African roots. So nobody wants to be identified.
Well, I don't agree with that African root thing because he can throw that out the window because we know that Israel is an aboriginal to the Americas. But that's hijack. Dodge the hijacker. Let's get the babies out the bathwater. Let's go.
As a descendant of a slave person, they're going to immediately be drawn to powerful groups. Now, one thing that must be said is that they do acknowledge slavery, but what they do is they come with a historical revisionist explanation of why slavery happened to Africans or Africans who are really Israelites. And their explanation is that they went into slavery because they did not keep the commandments of God. So having a sense of identity and a sense of rootedness to powerful individuals is one of the things that appeal to the followers of these kinds of movements.
Israel went into slavery because they gave up their culture. That's what put them in slavery. When you begin to give up the very nature of yourself, then other people becomes powerful and become greater and literally become your master. So that's the point where I'm going at. So it's not so much that we didn't keep the commandments, it's that we gave up our culture. Let's go.
Another thing that could be appealing to followers of these kinds of movements is the sense of shared history and community. Human beings are social beings who crave a sense of belonging and connection, and these movements place a strong emphasis on a shared history and community. This provides a strong bond and a support system for its members.
Now remember the last video we showed that I shared Saturday is Father Divine, Elijah Muhammad, in other groups, other leaders of churches. They gave their members, Jim Jones, a sense of community, belonging, almost like a support system. And this is what makes them comfortable at how they keep coming back, because they make you feel connected. So he's telling you the same thing at what was shown on Saturday. So let's go. Let's keep going.
One of the things that we also have to put into consideration is that a lot of these people come from broken homes, broken families. They don't know what it means to be in community, but they know that they have a desire for being in community, having a sense of family, a sense of belonging, a sense of identity.
And that's very important what he's saying. A lot of these brothers and sisters come from broken homes. They come from broken families. They have that sense of community. They have that sense of being one with a group. But that group are not strangers. That group are your family. That's what Deuteronomy 32:7 talks about. It talks about family. But these groups take you away from that. And they make you ignore your family. Let's keep going. Let's go, because we're building tonight. Like I said, I'm not gonna be on long. Let's keep going. Let's ride. Let's ride.
And one of the things that I also notice about these movements is that the leaders and founders are typically older men. They're somewhat of a fatherly figure. They take the role of fathers when they give their children their identities. A lot of them take the names that these leaders give them, while also at the same time taking an identity that is given by them. Those are factors that we should put into consideration as well. That's also a factor that contributes to this movement's appeal.
Because you notice it say that most of these people are elderly. Who's in charge? They're up in age. And they look like a father figure. If you don't look like a father figure, most people ain't going to deal with you like that. They deals with people who looks like having that father-like image. Let's keep going.
They offer those things, community and bonds.
Stop paying for investment.
All right, let's get this commercial on up out of here. Let's go.
In the movement's appeal, we now turn our attention to the factors of empowerment and control. One of the methods that they use to give their members a sense of empowerment and control, the leaders give them alternative explanations for their historical suffering and marginalization. Historical suffering and marginalization have been experienced by many communities throughout history, and the Black Hebrew Israelite movement offers an alternative explanation for such hardships, framing them within the divine plan and historical context. One of the key verses that they use in the Bible to utilize this method is Deuteronomy 28. The alternative explanation is this: Africans are really Israelites, and they were taken as slaves because they were disobedient to the laws of God and began to act like Gentiles. That's why they ended up in American slavery. So, how do we get out of that? How do we become kings and priests again? Simply put, we need to be obedient to the commands of the Most High. And when we do become kings and priests again, we're going to repay the Americans, the Europeans, or the Edomites back for all the harm that they caused us. This gives them the sense of empowerment. And also, another thing that gives them empowerment is being able to control their destiny. First of all, you have to acknowledge that you're an Israelite and keep the commands of God. Everything is going to work itself out. That is the gist of their empowerment right there. The feeling of being in control and overcoming adversity is one of the things that appeal to them as well. Individuals often seek a sense of control in their lives, especially in the face of adversity. The movement provides a framework that empowers its followers by offering a sense of control over their own destiny through adherence to its teachings. As we navigate the psychological factors contributing to the movement's appeal, we now explore the search for meaning and purpose. Imagine being lost in the middle of space, right? Stars everywhere, but you're just floating with no map, no direction. That's life for a lot of us. But deep down, we're all trying to find meaning. It ain't just about getting by day to day. It's about understanding our bigger role in this whole crazy journey called life. We all have a longing and desire to understand our purpose. One thing about life is that it has some fundamental questions about meaning and purpose. And this drives individuals to seek answers and guidance. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement presents a comprehensive belief system that offers answers and a clear purpose in alignment with their interpretation of Scripture. They have a way of explaining who they are, why they experience the things that they do. This is one of the things that appeals to the members of these movements. Another thing that appeals to a person's sense of purpose is the appeal of a divine plan and higher calling. Many individuals are drawn to the idea of a divine plan and a higher calling. The movement provides a sense of direction and purpose by positioning its followers as part of a divine mission to spread their beliefs and engage social change, more so change for minorities. They have the goal of waking up minorities to their true identity as Israelites. These are the factors that appeal to the followers. All right, y'all, we've unpacked the mindset of the members or the psychological factors of the members, right? But let's switch for a sec. Dive deeper behind every movement's heartbeat, which is its leadership. So, what's cooking in the minds of these leaders that's guiding the ship? Let's break it down. We often wonder, what is it about these movements? What is so magnetic about it? We can't look into that aspect without looking at the leaders of these organizations. These leaders exhibit a series of traits and behaviors that captivate, control, and often exploit their followers. Two of the traits that these leaders often have is charisma and magnetic charm. Some individuals have an innate ability to attract. They have the ability to captivate. Their charisma oftentimes acts as a magnet, drawing people into their sphere of influence. It's charm that's almost mystical in nature. It's one of those things that they use to lure people in some ways that people present themselves as charming or charismatic is they would use things like humor. They would give the sense that they are good listeners and they listen to the people that they try to influence. Those are some of the ways that they can control people. Another trait that these leaders often have is the strong ability to captivate and persuade others to see the world through their lens. They don't just lead, they shape beliefs, mold opinions, and redefine realities. And a lot of times, these opinions, these beliefs, and these realities don't make sense to us because we're not under the influence of these leaders. Also,
And a lot of people don't even realize that they are actually under an influence with these people. They don't even realize that. They just simply just follow what these people put out in front of them. Then when you challenge it, then what happens? These people begin to attack you, hate you, dislike you, because you are going against what they have accepted. Let's go.
a lot of times these leaders have exceptional communication skills and oratory prowess. Their words are not mere sounds, they are crafted art that moves hearts and minds. Their oratory skills that go beyond mere communication, reaching into the very souls of those people that listen.
So a lot of times you take what these people have, they have that charisma and that charm. Okay? They have that charisma and that charm that captivates you. And a lot of you don't even realize you have been captivated. Let's go.
The leaders often have authoritarian and controlling behavior as well. Their charm has a dark side, oftentimes utilize manipulative tactics to maintain their power and authority. Manipulation is an art, and these leaders are master artists.
All you got to do, if you don't believe that, go get the book. What that book is? It's called Wars. What it is? I got the book and it just slipped my mind. Something about wars and power, something like that. And it talks about how you can manipulate people. This Sabbath, I'll show you the book. But they are masterful at the charms of how they come out. That's how you know they are deceptive. Let's go.
They maintain power not merely through persuasion, but through carefully orchestrated tactics that trap their followers in a web of control. These leaders,
The Bible says in Jeremiah 23 and 1, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, says the Creator. Because they are so masterful and deceptive at the words that they're using and how the words that they use, that when it says to scatter, it don't mean that they got the people all over the place. No, it's talking about the mindset of the people. The Creator wants man to focus on his law, but he uses the law in these Israelite groups to get you to focus on him. 1 Timothy 4 and 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. Meaning you're supposed to be that example first. If you can't be that example first, then why you a leader? See, why are you a leader? Exodus 18:21. That's Exodus, the 18th chapter, verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out all the people, able men, such to fear the Creator, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be the rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens. But then when you look at these people, they put people over you, but these same people that they put over you is the people that's having problems. They're having problems, family. Let's keep going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get back to the video. Let's go.
Moray.
Often impose rules and strict hierarchies.
Yeah. Yes.
That book, the book you were referring to, the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It's an orange and blue book.
That's it. 48 Laws of Power. I appreciate it. Oh, praises. The 48 Laws of Power.
You're
And
welcome.
don't think that them leaders have it. And it's another book too. It's another book that that they use as well. Don't think they don't use those masterful skills on you. Because I know I got the book. I just got to find that book. 48 Laws of Power. And I think it's law number 30. It's 25 or 30. It's one of them. Whereas that it teaches you how to use your energy against their energy against themselves. And they be cunning, and it teaches the master how to be masterful at his words to use your energy against you. But let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go back to the video.
Within the group. If you will notice, a lot of them are referred to as bishop or the general, deacon. There's hierarchies within these organizations and these movements. The titles may be different within the different camps, but they often have a hierarchy within the organization. A lot of the leaders have narcissistic tendencies. They give off the idea that they are the saviors, that they are the ones who open the eyes of the people. A lot of times the founder or the general is seen as the beacon of truth. They are seen as the center of the universe.
There's no man on the planet Earth that has opened the Bible and brought it out to the capacity that the bishop has done it. That's why I admire the man. That's why I'm friends with him. And that's why I trust him. Because the greatest book on the face of the planet Earth, the Lord put the Spirit on him to go through it and take us to what you see in this room right now.
A lot of times these leaders have a constant need for admiration and validation. The leader's ego needs constant feeding, admiration, validation, sometimes worship. These are the fuels that drive the engine of their self-importance. You got to stand when they walk in the room. Some of these events would, if you've seen them, it'll blow your mind.
Get this commercial on out the way. Right. Before we get back, let's read a couple more of the scriptures. Deuteronomy, the first chapter, verse 13. That's Deuteronomy, the first chapter, verse 13. Take you wise men and understanding, and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. See, he says, take ye wise men and understanding. See, I see a lot of you who call yourself leaders are not wise. A lot of you who call yourselves this and that are not wise. And he says, and known among your what? Tribe, meaning your family. But a lot of us, you done moved away from your family. You don't even deal with your family. Your family don't even acknowledge you to what you're doing. You walked away from your own family. You don't even call your family. But you're a leader. Who made you a leader? Who exalted you as a leader? Let's jump down to verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribes. That's the head of your tribes. Wise men and known. See, these people were known among their own people, not among a group, but among their own families. Because your tribe is your family. And made them heads over you, captains of thousands and captains of hundreds and captains of fifties and captains of tens and officers among your tribes. But these people got you away from your family, and you think they're right. Let's grab one more. Proverbs 25:28. He that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Do you know what controls your spirit? It's your family. Not strangers. But you say, those are my, they part of Judah, and they part of Naphtali, or they part of Issachar. But your family don't know them. Let's go. Y'all reference these people. Watch. See them with their little shields. Look at this. She look amazed. She look amazed. Like she never seen them before. Notice they don't do praise and worship, but they praise and look who they're praising. Let's go. They don't do praise and worship. The Bible said, let everything that has breath praise ye the Creator. Praise ye the Creator. Let's go.
A lot of times these leaders will have some extraordinary beliefs and extraordinary visions. A lot of times they will claim special knowledge or divine revelation. They make claims that they have a unique connection to divine truth or a certain kind of knowledge that sets them apart from the members or those beneath them in the hierarchy of leaders. They also have a tendency to proclaim themselves as a messianic figure or chosen leader. They are not merely leaders, they are saviors, chosen ones, individuals with a divine mission. They give the idea that they may be a biblical figure that is reincarnated or that has come back in some kind of shape, form, or fashion.
But we're standing here today because, Bishop, you have been a father to many, like Abraham, a protector, a provider for the nation of Israel. That's who you are. Some people argue whether he's Elijah or whether he's Peter in the spirit. We don't know. Only the Lord knows. But what we can tell you is you are somebody special. You are somebody special. You are worthy of the title. You are worthy of leading the nation of Israel. To many of us, Bishop, speaking for myself, raised in a single family household, no father, Bishop, you have been the epitome of a father.
The leaders are also
Now, if you listen to this brother and you listen to what he's saying you are worthy to leading the nation of Israel. Where did they say that at in the Bible? 1 Peter 5:3. Neither as being Lord over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. But this man say you could be Elijah or David or somebody in the spirit. We don't know. Only the Creator knows. But you are worthy. Who gave him the authority to tell him that this dude Nathaniel 7 is worthy to lead the nation of Israel? Where did that come from? But guess what? 2 Chronicles 1:10 and through 12. I was going to read verse 10. It says, give me now wisdom and knowledge that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? See, you need wisdom and understanding, knowledge. But let's go. Let's keep going.
known for forming an exclusive and elite group with a unique purpose. They created an inner circle, an elite group chosen for a unique purpose, further bonding their followers to the leader's vision. And it's usually the chief leader, usually the spokesman or those who have been given a platform on YouTube, on television, or some other kind of social media platform.
Did you know that you can?
Let's go ahead and get this video. Let's get this right here out of the way. Let's get back to it. Let's go.
Control the information that they let their followers get a hold to. They have limited access to external information and dissenting views. When their views are challenged too much, they'll pack up and leave, or they'll tell their followers not to engage, and they would try to use some form of scripture or what have you to encourage them to not engage or to take hold of pagan ideas. These leaders are well known for promoting an us versus them mentality to maintain loyalty. This division between the inner circle and the rest of the world further isolates followers. You don't want to be a part of the 2/3 that's going to get destroyed. It's you against Christians. It's you against everybody else. It's you against opposing camps within the same Hebrew Israelite movement. Also, these leaders know how to emotionally manipulate and indoctrinate. They create an emotionally charged environment to heighten vulnerability. I've watched certain events and I watched their messages, and their messages are typically emotionally charged, meaning they focus a lot on American slavery, civil rights issues, racial profiling, police brutality, and stuff like that to emotionally charge and indoctrinate their followers. There are a lot of appeals to black rage. Remember what the white man did to you, these devils, all that kind of rhetoric. They are constantly fed that kind of information. Emotions are powerful motivators. And these leaders create environments where feelings run high, and this heightens their vulnerability. Also, these leaders are very good at instilling fear into their followers. There's fear being instilled in the followers if they consider leaving the organization or becoming something else. They don't want to be part of the 2/3, or they don't want to go to hell, or they don't want to be assaulted, because there are stories of people that choose to leave these organizations and these movements. They're assaulted and all kinds of harmful stuff are done to them. So a lot of times this is what keeps the members in the organization. And you will also notice that the leaders have a tendency to condition followers to suppress critical thinking, and they rely solely on the leaders' teachings. They will always quote their leaders verbatim. And you know, this is the case when you talk to multiple members and they all say the exact same thing, use the exact same scriptures. They're programmed to do that. You'll also notice that they escalate the demands and sacrifices that their followers are to make. They gradually increase commitments and demands on followers. Commitment grows over time, deepening emotional investment and binding followers ever more tightly to their leader. These leaders will often use rituals to deepen their followers' emotional investment. Rituals become pathways to deeper connection and deepening the followers' investment in the leader of the group.
Sound like Rome, don't it? And that sound like a Roman general. I ain't trying to hear all that. That's just too much. Or that. I ain't trying to hear all that.
a lot of times these leaders would be involved in deceptive practices. They would a lot of times conceal the true nature of the group and its beliefs to its newcomers. Deception is a tool, and these leaders are adept at concealing the true nature of their group and their beliefs. Another thing that these leaders tend to do is misrepresent their past or their qualifications. The past is usually rewritten and the qualifications are exaggerated or invented. The leader's image is carefully crafted through deception. Some of them are not qualified to teach the Bible. They know nothing about the Bible's original languages. They qualify themselves through speaking the message that people want to hear. These leaders would lure individuals with false promises and offers of personal transformation. Promises of transformation act as bait in those that are seeking change, fulfillment, or meaning. Let me give you hope in the future. Let me give you a new identity. Let me tell you how to really change your life. Those are some of the things that they use to lure their followers in.
All right, let's go ahead on. We just about at the end.
Another thing that you will also notice is that the leaders react aggressively to dissent or criticism. They demonize critics. They demonize former members. They demonize former members to discredit their testimonies about being part of the group. Critics are threats, and these leaders respond with demonization and discrediting. The Christian church is pagan. They're liars. It's the white man's religion. There's all kind of things that are said to demonize anyone in any organization with dissenting views or criticism. The members will react defensively and aggressively to any challenge to the leader's authority. Challenges are met with aggression, reinforcing the leader's authority and suppressing dissent. You speak against the leader of these organizations and you will get death threats. They will threaten you with physical harm, and some of them will even ask God to do something harmful to you because you are exposing something fraudulent about the leader. So the leaders are not the only ones that do that. The members do that as well. Another tactic that they employ is gaslighting. They employ gaslighting tactics to undermine the credibility of those who question the group. Psychological tactics like gaslighting are used to confuse, disorient, and undermine those who question or criticize. While the portrait we've painted today may seem alarming, it's essential to recognize these characteristics are not found uniformly across all charismatic or influential figures. It is the particular combination, intensity, and context that may signal potential harm. Critical thinking and compassionate understanding of this group's dynamics. This is part one. Part two, we're going to examine the scriptures that are used to justify the teachings. We're going to look at what they really mean. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Truth Be Told.
So we're gonna end this video right here. And the brother spoke a lot. He brought out a lot. He brought out a lot. And what he said was very, very telling. These groups love to control you. They love to control you. They love to control you. Let's see what this brother right here said. He said, prove that the Edomites are the Israelites and we are not. Sorry, you let some leopard pale skin disgusting devil to pay you to slander your people. You are the saddest man in the world. This man right here is look, every single time. It will never, 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 never fail that these cats right here always think that what they believe is the truth. So since you bring Sis David White or Weech, look, the link is in the chat, brother. You're more than welcome to come on this panel, brother, and we could talk about Esau. Okay, we could talk about Esau. All right. We can have a conversation about Esau, brother, as long as you come on this platform with decorum and with dignity and with respect. We'll have a conversation. All right. Other than that, your conversation is moot over here. Because what I'm getting ready to do, let's get into the next point of view. Esau is not the white man. Mr. David Weech, here we go. Here we go, Mr. David Weech. Esau is not the white man. You've been lied to, bruh. Yeah, we're gonna wait till it come on in. See, these people are the white man, and you loving. They don't want you to follow scripture, cause see, they don't follow scripture. The brother, I just showed the video. The brother told y'all follow a narrative. That's why every time y'all talk, I smell what them leaders that you follow. I smell what they were eating, because your breath actually indicates their mouth. You see, I smell what they've been eating from you. Because when you open your mouth, I knew they was eating a hamburger, brother. Because that's how close you are to them. So let's get into it. Esau is not the white man. Now the brother gonna introduce himself. This is Student Torah Review TV. Go to his channel and subscribe to this brother's platform. All right. Brother right here gonna put some heat down on a lot of you liars about Esau. Now I know a lot of brothers that had did this video, and that's why I'm bringing this brother video out. And this brother gonna bring out some scriptures, and he's gonna bring out a couple of scriptures that you know, and he's gonna bring out scriptures and a couple of scriptures you didn't know. That all says the same thing, and you liars sit there and say it don't mean that. Let's go.
Hey, shalom, everybody. This is student of YHWH. Student of YHWH. I'm just back at it with another quick video. And I wanted to do a quick lesson on how Esau himself was not white. Again, Esau himself was not white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Bible, of course. I'm going to go into the Hebrew, the Strong Concordance, and I'm going to go into history to prove without any shadow of a doubt that Esau himself was not white.
That's why, Mr. David Weech, some of you Negroes are Esau. Let's go.
And when I say white, I don't mean white as in this. When I say white, I mean Esau was not white as in the Europeans that you see. I mean that Esau was not white as in Donald Trump. Esau was not so-called white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it off at the birth of Esau. So let's go to Genesis chapter 25. And I'm going to prove without any shadow of a doubt that Esau himself was not white. This is Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And before I start, I just wanted to let everybody know that I read from the Scriptures translation. Again, the scriptures translation is by the ISR. I recommend that in every video to check out this translation. It's a great translation. So this is Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. It says, and Yahuwah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people shall be separated from your body. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older serve the younger. So right here, you have to understand that Rebecca was pregnant. She was pregnant with twins. And it says 2 nations were in her womb. So that's simple. 2 nations was in her womb. Esau represents a nation. Jacob represents a nation. Just like Noah. By Noah, you have Ham. That's a nation. Shem, that's a nation. And Japheth, that's a nation. And they populated the whole earth. So this is the same.
So if Noah's 3 sons were nations, different nations, but they were all the same people of the same color, how Esau and Jacob were different? Let's go. We're gonna get into that. Let's ride.
In concept that by this couple, 2 different nationalities came by this one couple. Let's keep reading. Verse 24. And when the days were filled for her to give birth, and see, twins were in her womb. So a lot of Hebrew Israelites, they will say, see that? They were twins, fraternal twins. But that is not true. Esau and Jacob were identical twins. Let's prove that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some history. And as a lot of Hebrew Israelites know of this historian, Flavius Josephus, he talks about Esau and Jacob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Josephus, and I'm just going to read the part about Esau and Jacob.
Y'all book who they do.
And this is the
Let's see what he's saying.
Antiquities of the Jews, 1.269. Again, this is the Antiquities of the Jews. It says,
For yourself, Antiquities of the Jews. This is Josephus. I don't get into a lot of his writings. I do not. But this brother is bringing out this writing to prove a point, to show y'all that even Josephus, who created Jesus Christ, showing you what he said about Jacob and Esau. Let's go.
and I'm actually going to start at 270. So Antiquity of the Jews, 1.270. It says, now when the supper was got ready, he took a goat skin and put it about his arm, that by reason of its hairy roughness, he might by his father be believed to be Esau. For they being twins, and all thing else alike, differed only in this thing. Let me read that again. Now when the supper was got ready, he took a goat skin and put it about his arms, that by reason of its hairy roughness, he might by his father be believed to be Esau. For they being twins and in all thing else alike, differed only in this thing. So according to Flavius Josephus, Esau and Jacob looked everything and like, except for one thing. Esau was hairy.
Back to your liars. Now debunk Josephus. Debunk him. But the brother ain't finished. Let's keep going.
That's right. Esau was hairy. That was the only difference between Esau and Jacob. was his hairy skin. And you can read that in Genesis, I believe Genesis chapter 48 or 49. So let's go back to Genesis chapter 25. And let's go back to verse 24. And when the days were filled for her to give birth, and see, twins were in her womb. Now remember, according to history, Flavius Josephus, he even said that they look just alike, identical twins. Only different in one thing. Esau is hairy. And the Bible is going to even prove that. Verse 25. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. So they called his name Esau. So you see that? Esau was hairy. And it says that the first came out red. Now, a lot of Hebrew Israelites will say, you see that? He came out red. Well, let's study to show ourselves approved. And let's look up this word red. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the, or we're going to go into the Strong Concordance. And let's look up this red in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. In Genesis chapter 25.
This way a lot of your camps talk about, don't go into Strong Concordance because it's not real. Those
And
are
verse
fake words.
25.
Let's go.
Let's see. That word red is H119. Again, H119. It means reddish. It means of the hair or the complexion, red or ruddy. So Esau was red or ruddy. Red or ruddy, huh? The Hebrew word H119, red or ruddy. Did y'all know that Adam was also described as the same Hebrew word, red or ruddy? So was Adam also a so-called white man? Let's prove that Adam also was described as red or ruddy. Let's go into the Bible and let's go to Genesis chapter 2. So we see that Flavius Josephus said that Esau and Jacob look just alike. They look just alike. It was just that Esau was hairy. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 2. Let's go to verse 7. It says, and Yahuwah Elohim formed the man out of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and the man became a living soul. So let's go into the Hebrew and let's go to Genesis chapter 2. And let's look up this word man. This is talking about Adam. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Now, when you look up that word man, it's the Hebrew word 120. Here's the root word. The root word is H119. It's the same word that described Esau, reddish, red, or ruddy. And Esau was made from what? The dust of the ground. So what I'm going to do here, I want to show y'all some soil. That is soil. That's the dust of the ground. Adam was formed from the dust of the ground. And when you see this,
David Weech, I hope you're listening, because you know you've been following liars, brother. Let's get back into the video.
when you see that, that is not a white color. This is a brown color. with a reddish glow to it. Look at it. That's a brown color with a reddish glow to it. This is the same word that described Esau. Remember, these were identical twins.
Yeah, the reason why they don't want you to know that is because, see, Esau done crept among you. And a lot of you are following Esau. And see, in order to stay disguised, I point at something else to keep you focused. In other words, I got you following vacuum balls. You know, vacuum balls just the thing that go up and down inside the vacuum. It's not really doing anything. It's just going up and down inside the bag. And that's what they got you doing. They got you following vacuum balls in midair. They keep the attention off of them while they infiltrate you and became you. Not just Esau, Moab, Ammon, Japheth. All these nations became you. So they have to keep the attention from off of them by blaming, saying, the white man, the white man, the white man. When scriptures are clearly telling you Esau is like you. That's your twin brother. Esau is your twin brother. That's why many of us can't get along, is because a lot of you Negroes are Esau. But let's go. Let's keep going.
So you see Adam being described also as red, ruddy. And he was made from the dust of the ground. When you look at the ground, it's a brown with a reddish glow.
So knowing scripture don't make you an Israelite. That doesn't make you an Israelite. That's why half of you Negroes don't even know your own history of your family. And half of you ain't even trying to learn it. It's because you already know what you are. Let's go.
Let's get more. Did you know that Samuel was also described as the same word Esau and Adam was described? Let's prove it. Let's go to 1 Samuel 16. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16.
So you mean to tell me Samuel is the same
12.
as Esau and Adam? Pale skin? Let's go.
Again, this is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 12. It says, and he sent and brought him in, and he was ruddy. The same word described for Esau and Adam as also described for Solomon. And if you don't believe this is Solomon, let's read the verse before that. Let's go to verse 11. It says, there remains yet the youngest, and see, he is tending the sheep. And Solomon said to Yashay, send and bring him.
He said
for we
Solomon,
do not
but that was really
turn around till he comes here. And he sent and brought him in. And he was ruddy.
David, really, not Solomon.
You see that? So Solomon was also ruddy. Don't believe me? Let's look into the Hebrew again. Let's look into the Hebrew.
David made a mistake. That's David.
And let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16. Remember, through that precepts, you get understanding. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 12. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy. That word ruddy is H132. It's from H119. Reddish, red, ruddy. Solomon was a black man, and he looked just like that picture. Solomon was brown with a reddish glow. You see many of our people that look like this. They are brown with a nice reddish glow to them. This is how Esau looked. This is how Adam looked. This is how Solomon looked. But did you know that King David was also described as this same word, ruddy? Let's read it. Let's go to 1 Samuel 17. The next chapter, this is 1 Samuel chapter 17, and this is verse 42. It says, when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he despised him, for he was a youth and ruddy and of a handsome appearance. So they describe King David as ruddy and handsome. So being ruddy, being red, just like Esau, is looked upon as handsome.
All you got to do is go look up ruddy duck, ruddy cow, a ruddy dog. Just go look that up and see what he's talking about and see if it matched the same as that sand that he was talking about that he showed you. Let's go.
Beautiful color. Let's go into the Hebrew. Let's go into the Hebrew to prove that even King David was also described as ruddy, and is that same word that's described as Esau, that is described as Adam, that is described as Solomon. Let's go to 1 Samuel again in the concordance, 17 and 42. Let's see what this word ruddy means. That word ruddy, H132, is from the Hebrew word H119. It's the same word. Reddish, red, ruddy.
Ruddy.
King David
ruddy.
also
ruddy.
was described as ruddy. Check this picture out again. Remember, Adam was made from the dust of the ground. When you look into the ground, it's a brown color with a reddish glow. And let me prove even more that this ruddy is a brown color with a reddish glow to it. Let's prove it even more. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to, let's see here. We're going to go to Samuel. Give me 1 second.
Now he's about to prove about a cow.
Let's prove even more.
Watch this now.
That this ruddy is a brown color with a reddish glow. Again, a brown color with a reddish glow. Just give me 1 second here. Let me just look up this verse. See, red heifer. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look up a red heifer, which is Numbers chapter 19. Again, let's go to Numbers chapter 19. And we're going to prove even more that this ruddy is a brown color with a reddish complexion, a reddish glow to it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into a red heifer. Let's go into Numbers chapter 19. And let's go to verse 2. It says, this is the law of the Torah, which Yahuwah has commanded, saying, speak to the children of Israel that they bring you a red heifer, a perfect one, in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come.
Is this the same red that described Esau? Let's see. Let's go.
So a red heifer, huh? Let's go to Numbers chapter 19, verse 2 in the Strong Concordance. And let's look up this red heifer.
This
and
all
let's
body
find
bag.
out if this is the same word that's described as everybody we looked up.
Is this a body bag?
So this is Numbers chapter 19, verse 2.
Is
And
this
when
a
you look
body
into the
bag?
Hebrew, that word red is H122. The root word is from H119. It means red, ruddy. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into a red heifer on Google. And is it an actual red? This is a red
David,
heifer.
I hope you see that.
It's a brown heifer with a red glow. This is
David
a red
White.
heifer. This is the
Look
same
at the red heifer.
red or ruddy
Look at the red
or
heifer,
reddish
David.
that describes Esau, that describes Adam, that describes Solomon, that describes
white man
King David,
is Esau,
and
brother.
the same red word that describes a red heifer. So with that, brothers and sisters, without any shadow of a doubt, that Esau himself was not so-called white. Esau looked just like his brother, identical twins. The only thing was different was Esau was very hairy. And Most High Women, I will be doing more videos proving how Esau is not the so-called white man, and his descendants are not either. With that,
So that I've been trying. See, this is why you can't get truth, because they lie. They've been lying to you. They don't want you to discover your twin brother who's causing the havoc in your community. They don't want you to discover that. Because if you discover that the one that looked like you is the one that's really causing the havoc, the one that's speaking for you. All these people that you claim that you stand on the corner, hey, brother, will you see yourself on the chart? You could be talking to Esau and don't even know it. Because you're looking at Esau as the Caucasian. This is how I know y'all don't do no studying. You don't do no studying. You only sit there and repeat what they tell you from their mouth. The same way they told you, oh, you got the white man's name. See, the white man name is this. The white man name is that. See, you got the white man's name. So let's get into the last video. Fair use, fair use. This is why when you don't know your history and you don't know studying, you're liable to repeat anything from your mouth. So the brother went through this tempest in this video to show the roll call. Names that they stole. So fair use. I know stream y'all messing up. They messing up real bad. I'm gonna have to probably transfer over to thing. Stream y'all just don't do a real good job. So let's ride. Fair use, fair use. Let's go.
Hey family, please turn your mobile devices to landscape mode for the best viewing experience. Thank you.
I want you to look at that map real careful. I want you to look at that map. Look at the map. Creeks, Sioux, Crow. See? Apache, Aztec, Yakui, Shoshone, Seminole. See? Ute. Look at the map. Real careful. All those names were Aboriginal names. These were Aboriginal names. Let's go. I mean, I know they probably pronounce different from the actual pronunciation, but you know what I'm talking about. Let's go.
For the best viewing experience. Thank you.
Subscribe to these brothers'
Hey
page. Let's
family,
go.
if you are interested, here are some surnames from the Tuscarora from 1695 to 1892. While in the process of setting up the Tuscarora DNA project, they needed to find the names of the Tuscarora Indians who are documented in North Carolina before the removal to New York and in New York. The first part was relatively easy because they've already done the research and documented it in the series of articles. The first posting is linked above, and from there you can get to the rest. There are a total of 15 segments of this series. From those early documents, they found a total of 407 people in transactions. Many were obviously the same people signing different deeds, for example, but there were many different surnames. So let's go see. So we have surnames from North Carolina group, excluding the New York chiefs, including Allen, Basket, Blunt, Blount or Blunt, Bridges, Kane, Charles, Cope, Cornelius, Dennis, George, Gibson or Gibson, Hancock, Harry, Hicks, Howett or Hewitt, Jack, James, maybe first name only, Joe as in Captain Joe Lawson possibly, Lightwood spelled differently, Little John possibly, Lloyd, Miller, Mitchell, Netop, Owen, Owens, different variations, Paget or Paget, Pugh, Randall, Rash, Rice or Hill, Roberts or Roberts, different variations of Rogers, Seneca, Smith, Saki, Square Hooks, possibly, Stone, Strawberry Taylor, Thomas, Tuff, Tyler, Walker, Wheeler, Welter, Waiter, Whitmail, different variations of Wiggins, Winnoa, Yalone. The surnames of people who returned to North Carolina from New York to deal with land sales and negotiation include Abraham, maybe first name only, Big Fish, Billy, Cassie, Chew, Cusick, Jacob, Johnson, Jones, Green, King, as in Young King, Lewis, maybe first name only, Long, Board, Love Denny, Mount Pleasant, Prantup, Sakarusa, Sachem, maybe a description, not a surname, Smith, Thomas, maybe first name only, War Chief William. Tuscarora surnames recorded from New York in the War of 1812 include Allen, Beach, Blacknose, Cusick, Fox, Green, Henry, Miller, Mount Pleasant, Patterson, Pemberton, Peter, possibly. Print up again, Sky, Smith, Thompson, Williams. The next record they were able to find was the Indian Census of New York, 1888 to 1881, in which he or she found Alvis Anderson, Bembleton, Bissell, Brayley, Beaver, Cusick again, Chew, Douglas, De Forest, Fish, Garlow, Green, Gansworth, Hewitt, Hill, Henry, Isaac, Johnson, Jack Jones, Jacob, Jonathan, Jennison or Jamison, Lonto, Mount Pleasant, Martin,
Jameson.
Miller, Nash, Parkinson, Print up again, Peter, Rackett, Sylvester, Smith, Seneca again, Thompson again, Williams again, White again. In 1809, there were a total of 404 Tuscarora, and in 1890, 392. Now for the interesting part of the Tuscarora in New York who had claimed for the War of 1812. 3 surnames were in common with the North Carolina Tuscarora: Allen, Miller, and possibly Smith. Smith was listed as an executor, so may have been a surname before leaving North Carolina. Looking at the War of 1812 records for the Seneca and Oneida, the tribes that adopted Tuscarora, there were few in any English name. So the Tuscarora, people may well have abandoned most English names for North Carolina, returning to mostly native names and later readopting possibly different English or French surnames. Of the people in the 1888, 1890,
So this lets you know that English was not our language. It was not our language. Let's go.
1889 census, very few surnames were found when the Tuscarora resided in North Carolina, but those few include Hewitt, Jack, Miller, Smith, and Seneca. You may notice that 2 of these names, Miller and Smith, are names that were also in common between North Carolina group and the War of 1812 records. Granted, Miller and Smith are both very common names, but there is what appears to be continuity. So I'm going to post some genealogy links for you guys as well. It looks like there's a good possibility that 5 Tuscarora surnames survived their migration from North Carolina to New York and are likely found in descendants today. It is also very likely that the DNA of the proven Tuscarora paternal lines will match that of descendants, possibly carrying different surnames in the Carolina.
So what he's telling you is that there are names, these last names, a lot of these last names survived through families, through wars. He's not finished. He's just getting started. Let's go.
Where we know that some of the Tuscarora remained or married and assimilated. In fact, the records tell us clearly that William Kane, a Tuscarora youth, remained, and we know he reached the age of maturity, declined to move to New York, and was last seen headed for Raleigh. A woman named Esther Gibson remained, and at least one other female child. Others likely remained as well, but aren't named in financial records, or had married and assimilated or moved elsewhere in earlier generations between the Tuscarora War in 1711 and the official final removal to New York in 1802.
So real quick, you have to pay attention because he's telling you that a lot of these aboriginals moved, they migrated because of war. So a lot of names were kind of misplaced. And some of the aboriginals assimilated amongst themselves. Some of them to save the last name or the name of description. Okay, watch. Let's keep going.
And that's all they have. So I'm gonna show you some websites for what you call it, genealogy. And if you don't trust the free websites, I'll show you 2 to 3 websites where you can pay for it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, you can pay somebody. Let me bring it up. The first website. Here's the top free genealogy website if you want to check it out. And here's a bonus, www or worldwideweb.archive.com. And I'm going to show you the one that you can pay for if you want to pay. I'll show you that one too.
All right, let's get this commercial on up out here. This here. No, he got this because this is how he get paid. So let's go.
Here's the website, findyourtribe.org/book-online, Urban American Indian Collective. And you scroll down. I can't get rid of this thing for some reason. I don't know why it's still there. So you just come here. And then you just step-by-step tracing beginner's genealogy course. It's their price. Okay. 1-on-1. $100 for an hour. Preliminary American Aborigine search. Preliminary search for tribal affiliation, 1 hour, $300. Full American Aborigine genealogy search. Full search, one side of family tree, includes interview and book. 30-hour work, $3,500. Events, speaking events, hosting panels, interviews, hour, $1,500. 30-minute consultation, 15 minutes.
So he's letting you know that you got a choice. You can either go the free way or you can go the pay way. Either which way, he's showing it to you. He's being honest and upfront and open-handed with his information. Let's go.
A 3-day course in February next year, I guess. $99. All right, let me show you the other site with 2 genealogy courses. All right, so you're gonna come to this website, bia.gov/guide/tracing American Indian and Alaska Native. All right, and you getting help with research. If you are contemplating hiring someone to research your family history, professional genealogists can charge fees on an hourly or flat rate basis. For more information on what to consider when hiring a professional, contact your local genealogical association or society or visit the NARA website. If you do not wish to conduct your own research, researchers are also available for free. Please search the Board for Certification of Genealogists or the Association of Professional Genealogists websites for their listings of genealogical researchers. And we come here, there's 2 options. All right, so let's click on the first one. That's their website, bcgcertification.org. That's the first one. All right, so we come down here. No, leave me alone. All right, what is genealogical certification? Become a certified genealogist. Why hire certified genealogist. Okay. And then you just do that. Click here. And then you see what it says when you click here. All right, so then you click here for find a certified genealogist. For this particular website, we're gonna go back to the other one. All right, and then you just click on one of these, search. Let's see. Come on. There you go. Make sure it loads correctly. All right, so here you go. Click on one of these names and see if they can help you or find somebody, see if they can point you in the right direction, someone closer to your location. Again, that's the website up there. Let me show you the other website. So we got to go back a couple clicks. One more click. So we're going to go to associates. So this is the BCG, is the Board of Certification of Genealogists. Then we have the Association of Professional Genealogists, apgen.org. Why hire? Find a genealogist. Click on that. And for more information, tips and directory search tips, they have the code of ethics. All right, so here are some people. All right, so check them out. You can search. It looks like 189 pages of people. If you know somebody by name, or you can search by country.
All right, let me go into the next video of his video. Let me do that real quick. Let me give him a come here. And let me get on into his video, his next video. Give me 1 second. And we're going to show you some more names. And then we're going to go ahead on and end it for tonight. We want to get into these other names. Just give me 1 second. Because see, you've been lied to, saying that, oh, you have the slave master's last name. But the slave master came here with these names, these titles. Are you serious? So let's get it. Let me pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. And we about done for tonight. Find your nation, family. Find your nation. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're going to just watch some of it, and we're going to come back Saturday in the Creator's will and finish watching the rest. Give me 1 second. Okay, hold on. This is not it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Because if I can't find it tonight, I definitely will have it Saturday. But you can see that those were not names from your slave master. They lied to you. They literally lied to you, talking about you took on the white man's last name. The white man stole your names. They stole your names. And this is what they have done. They stole your names. Okay. And we want to sit here and get everything. We give all credit to this so-called Caucasian. And this is the problem. I mean, we act as if we don't have nothing. We never had nothing. And this is the problem. I think I found it. All right, I think I found it. Yep, this is it right here. Here we go. So let me pause it right here. Let me go ahead on back in, and I'm gonna share. And I want you to see. I want you to find your names. I want you to be able to I want you to be able to find your name. Give me a second, sis. I'm gonna Latora. I'm gonna get to your question. Let me show this. Let me share this last video. I'm not gonna show the whole last video, but these are surnames of your indigenous last names. Let me get it in. Let me get it. I'm not gonna show the whole video tonight. We just gonna get into some of the video, and on Saturday I'm gonna rewind it back, and then we're gonna share some of the video. We're gonna go back to the beginning of the video. All right, so it's coming in. Sister, I'm gonna get to your question in a second. Just give me a minute. All right, just give me a second. All right. So fair use. Y'all go to this brother's page. This brother is dropping some heat. He really have a lot of heat.
If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts down below, what you think so far. All right, so we're going back to it. Find your ancestral nation, okay? As though all Amerindians are Negro equal black, I have included the list of freedmen Indians. This partial list of English surnames of Amerindian Negro people from the southeastern nations of Anisazi people. The northern nations of tribe are not listed here. In future books, more names will be added as a.
So he's talking about the Anahuac. He's talking about the Anahuac people. That's the southeast. That's the Mississippi Empire. That is the Mississippi Empire. Look it up. He's getting ready to get into these names. All right. So let's ride.
Uncovered Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Muskogees, aka Creek Seminoles. Just so you guys know, I didn't see my name in here. Okay, so don't be discouraged if you don't see your last name. But I saw some of my cousins' name and friends and stuff like that. Okay, so if you don't see your name, don't feel bad. All right. So, and I did my genealogy, and I didn't come from Africa or some nonsense like that. Name and friends and stuff like that. Okay.
This is the
so
Cherokee.
If you don't see your name, don't feel bad.
Let's go.
All right. So, and I did my genealogy, and I didn't come from Africa or some nonsense like that. So, but my name isn't in here. So we're gonna do a quick roll call. I don't really know how. Adair Adams, sound off. So you don't have to say your name in the comments or nothing like that. You know, you want to keep yourself as, you know, not public if you don't need to. Adam, Alberty, Aldridge, Allen, Alred, Alwell, Anderson, Armstrong, Arnsby, Austin, Baker, Baldridge, Ballard, Barden, Barker, Barlow, Barnes, Bean, Bean, Beck, Beeson, Bell, Benj, Bentone, Berlon, Barry, Bird, Burton, Black, Blackheart, Blackwell, Blair, Blunt, Blythe, coming up. Bolin, Boone, Bodino, Bowles, Bolin, Boyd, Bradford, Brady. Okay, so I guess this is going to be taking too long, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to just like, so you guys can like pause, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just flip, and that way if you see a name, you can just pause. But that's going to take too long. It'll be like an 80-minute video if I try to read this one by one. All right, so let's see if you guys can see a name. spend like a couple seconds in each section. All right. Pause the video if you need to. Make sure. All right, so we're coming up over here. Make sure, get this. Okay. Make sure. All right. All right, next page. Next. Let's try to get like a 1,000 likes. If you guys can, please. So I can, I guess, do it again. That way, like, more people see it. So they can see if they see their names. For real. Like I said, my name wasn't up in here. You know, I was kind of disappointed, but I was like, nah, it's all good. It's just a couple tribes, not all the tribes.
These are
There's
ancestor
like, at least
names.
like 500 tribes, you know.
These are not white people names. They
and then we
stole
got the
your names.
Chickasaws.
Let's go.
Let's see. Right. Trying to go as slow as possible, but not too slow, so people need to see their name, possibly. All right, so I'll keep it here. Turn the page.
The blacks is up there as well.
Let me know. Hey, just let me know if you see a name. You don't just be like, yeah, I saw mine. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me know in the comments if you see a name, don't see a name. That's all good, but just let me know. That'd be cool. You don't have to say a tribal name or anything. Just say if you saw your name on the roll call.
See, this is talking about coming back home. This is talking about gathering his people back. You're coming back to your tribal name. Let's go.
I don't know if I went too fast here. All right. So. Make sure I get this nice and flat. Let me move my hand.
Let's see if you see your name up here. Let's go.
All right, so coming over here.
Make sure you press that like and subscribe button, please. Do you see your name? Let's go. Let's go.
Move my hand.
These are ancestor names. Let's go. Tribal surnames. It's time to repair the breach, the house that's laid waste. Let's get this commercial out of here so we can finish on up. It's time to repair the breach of the desolate, because they stole everything from you. Genesis 9:27.
Make sure you
They
pause the
stretching
video.
themselves out. Let's
remove my hand. Okay. And make sure this is flat.
They stole your names. They stole it.
Then we go to the Muskogees. Make sure.
Deuteronomy 32:7.
Check out the Seminoles. Let me know if y'all see our name.
Fox is in that. Red Fox. It's real
Move my hand,
names.
move my hand. Make sure I'm trying to keep this steady.
Marshall. Ancestral names.
Trying to lay it flat.
It's time to reclaim back the names. Stevenson, Thompson, Sylvan, Wolf, Yahula, Yahami.
All right, so that's it. I'm thank you guys for watching. If you stayed to the end of the video, I'm gonna end the video right here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Did you guys like it? Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't.
All right, we're going to end that video right there. So we thank the Creator. Hope you seen your name. I hope you saw your name. I hope you seen your name. Now I'm going to answer the sister's question. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna answer the sister's question now. She say, when did the Israelites rid of their tribe's name for the different tribes' name, or are the Indian names only what the conquerors called them? No, Israel, you can see in some captivities that the Israelites, they took on some of the names, like, let's take for an example, like Daniel. Daniel, the first chapter. In fact, let's grab that real quick. Daniel's the first chapter. That Israel took on some of the captives' name. Just give me 1 second. Because anytime when you be conquered, a lot of times, sometimes you end up taking on the ways of them. Okay. Let me find that scripture, because it was the 3 Hebrew brothers plus Daniel. Daniel's name was not Daniel. His name was Belshazzar. I mean, his name was Daniel, but they changed it to Belshazzar. What you have? Daniel, the first chapter. Now these is one. Daniel, the first chapter, verse 6. I start at verse 5. You gonna read it?
Yes. Yes. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs give names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. Continue.
No. See, so you see that they gave you names, but the names that the brother put in the book, those are actual ancestral names. That's the reason why when you see the Dawes Roll and any of the other Indian rolls, they paid to get on those rolls. And in order for them to be on those rolls, they took your people's last name. So that's why he showed those names. So when did the Israelites rid of their tribe's name? When they went into captivity. That's when they rid. That's when I'm showing it to you right now in one example. For the different tribes' names, or are the Indian names only what the conquerors called them? you see that they called them out of their name. So, but the surnames were the names that the actual Aboriginal people lived to, like Potter, bakers, smiths, blacksmiths. Those were blacksmiths. Bakers, they bake. They're cooks. So that's why they call them surnames, because it described the nature of those said people. That's why all Israelites were not farmers. Someone was goldsmiths, someone were blacksmiths. Some of them were different, they had different occupations. That's how they end up paying their tithes, not through farming only. But I know we listen to these lion camps saying, well, tithes were only crops. No, it was not. No, it was not. Now there was a harvest that took place where they took to the storehouse, but that wasn't the only way they paid tithes. But Israel did take the captive's name when they went into captivity. But what the brother was showing you in the book was actual tribal surnames. Okay, that was actual our names that tied us to one another within certain groups in certain areas. So any other questions? Sis, you got anything you want to say before I close on out?
No, I don't have anything to say, but I enjoy the information that was presented. I have a lot of studying and reviewing to go back and do.
Okay, all praises. So this is part 3. The brother brought out Esau never was a white man. Now you have to go and do your research on that. He even brought out the red heifer, scripture and Numbers. We also showed how these groups and these camps use dictative mode to bind you, trap you, and seduce you, to keep you in a bad position, and they keep you away from family. And you don't even realize you have been hypnotized. And a lot of times when you open your mouth, you're not speaking literally from you. You're speaking from them. So this Shabbat, we're going to go into part 4. It's only going to get better. All right. So thank you for joining us. And we hopefully see you this Shabbat at 11 o'clock. So take care. ITFTR Network. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button if you haven't. Peace. Shalom.